Most creators think that by getting in front of more people, that means more growth, more business, more exposure to your brand. And today, my friends, I'm going to break down why narrowing your focus to that one individual, your ideal audience, why that may mean a lot more than just more people. Okay, let me break it down. But first, let's do some housekeeping right here. If we haven't met, my name is Ozeal. I'm your host that loves you the most, host of the Creator Factor podcast. Welcome if this is your first time checking out the show. If this is your first time listening or watching on YouTube, hello, how you doing? Today, we're going to have some fun because I'm going to talk a little bit about building the right audience and how you should reframe the way you look at positioning your brand online to attract the right audience. Okay. So I'm going to share with you how this really related to something that I went through when it came to my space, my perspective on building my community. All right. So a Pod Houston member recently reached out to me. I'll share a little story. It was reached out to me and she said that, she said when it comes to community building, she always thinks of me. And I was like, it was a really kind message. You know who you are. And it really made me think about the power of connection in community building. And I started thinking about how that principle applies not only to podcasting, but content creators, entrepreneurs. It got me thinking about how I've been able to build a community of local podcasters here in Houston, where I reside, and how the mind frame shift from, is this a community for everybody or is it for a specific type of person? Because in reality, growth comes whenever you go deeper and build the depth, right, with the right people, not just a general audience. When I built a community, it was in a community for a general audience. It was specifically tailored for podcasters. I've created communities specifically for digital marketers, for entrepreneurs, for video content creators. Creator Factor is an audience, as I shared on before on this podcast, is that this show is for business-minded content creators, not just content creators, because there's different types, but business-minded content creators, creators that are building a brand and business through content creation and marketing. And I find that, most creators, they try to speak to everyone. I know this is something that I see become a very big problem with a lot of podcasters who are launching their first podcast, is that they launch a podcast and it's very general. Like it'll be like, coffee talk with Sally or, you know, just general type of content, a podcast, entrepreneur success, right? And you may be thinking, hey, listen, it is specific for a person. And you may be right. It's definitely targeted for a right person, but we're talking about brand positioning. We're talking about building a brand that's going to attract the right audience. And I like the philosophy of like, it's not a table for some, it's a table for one. And really reframing that to really make sure that I'm creating the content for that one person. So when I'm speaking to you, behind the microphone, I think of the individual that's currently going through a struggle. For example, in this episode, I'm thinking about the creator that has a very general platform. Now, I've gotten some pushback before. I've talked about this before on the show that people think that now in 2025, it's okay to go broad and go general. I'm of the school, I've done both, right? I've gone niche and I've gone general. And here's what I've discovered, that when you go general, you're chasing everyone, right? You really don't personally connect with anybody, that one individual you're trying to impact. It's just a general discussion, right? And there's pros and cons to that. Part of the going general side of things is that you may be fulfilling your general interest, multi-passionate interest in different things. And if that's the case, then, by all means, go in it to win it. Do you, boo, right? But if you are a business-minded content creator and you're trying to target an individual and you're trying to make an impact, whether it's to get, potentially clients or to serve or to provide value, I like the philosophy of speaking to one individual. right? It's kind of like, and I wrote down here an example. It's like, imagine yourself writing a love letter, but addressing it to the whole internet. If you write that love letter to a general public, will it land if you were to write that love letter to that one person, that one special person? It's different. It's a whole different layer of deepness. And I look at podcasting, content creation very similar. That when I show up, I think of that one person right now that is a content creator that's struggling with clarity, that's struggling with building their brand, that needs a bit of motivation, um, that needs help with just monetization strategy, marketing. These are people that are, beginner to maybe intermediate level. Those are my people, but they're specific for the ones that actually are trying to build a brand and business, right? They're just not for hobbyists. If you're a hobbyist watching this or listening to this, you may get some value out of it, but it may just be something to where it's like, it may not be for you because you want to talk about a bunch of things. And there's space for that. Okay. I will say, full disclaimer, like even when I gotten pushback before this about this topic, excuse me, I'm really big on like, just do what fulfills you. If you want to go general, go broad, go general. There's really no rule book here, and I don't care. And I'm just side note, I don't care what other gurus say, like, this is the right way of doing it. Like, my way may not be your way. I'm sharing what I've discovered and what I've learned that's helped me and my clients. It may not be your blueprint. So full disclaimer, again, there's no rule book when it comes to podcasting or content creation. If anything, I will say that it's been the disruptors who come in to this space and done things differently. So again, I don't think there's, just because you have a general idea or topic doesn't mean that you're going to find success. There's other variables though when it comes to that, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to find success. So I want to share the message in that your podcast, your content creation platform, it's not going to be for everyone. It needs to be for that someone. Red Bull, they have a specific person in mind when they release a product or when they do their events. I don't believe that I'm in the Red Bull target. Okay. Like, I'm not their target audience. If you look at Apple specifically, they're looking for people that love tech, that love innovation, that love community, that love design. They're very tailored to that individual. Big brands, Liquid Death. Okay. Another great brand. They have a specific target audience, right? Nike, right? Motivated athletes, they have a specific target audience, right? So why I'm sharing this is because even the most impactful brands out there have a target audience. They have one person in mind. And then that one person, that's where the like-mindedness come in, right? The common love for the thing. And that's how community is built, right? Behind a common theme, a common message, common vibe. That's how you attract the right tribe. So I'm going to share with you some things that have been a game changer when it comes to the art of understanding your brand and attracting the right audience. When you are dialed in, got your brand, you know who you're talking to, your content becomes a lot more focused. When I was creating general content, I've noticed that I was having more trouble trying to figure out, what am I going to talk about? Like, who is this for? What am I going to talk about? It's general. And I didn't even know what I was going to talk about. So when you know your audience, your content is more focused, number one. Number two, and this is the big one, your marketing becomes a lot more effective, a lot more clear. From your messaging, from where to market your platform, your message, your brand. You're able to create live events that are tailored for that specific one person, get that vibe, that energy, environment dialed in for them. And then the third thing is you get the right people showing up to your show, to your thing. All right. You get to hang around the people that you want to hang around with. Like, real talk, like when I started that, it was for podcasters. When I started a community called Vid Houston, it was for video content creators, local video content creators. And I've done that in numerous different industries. And even with this podcast, again, it's for a specific kind of person. So I wanted to just share that with you because I want to challenge you. Okay. I want to challenge you to write down one person. Just take out a sheet of paper or pull out your notes app, whatever you use. Write down one person you'd love to help through your platform, through your podcast. I'm not talking about a demographic. I'm talking about psychographics. I'm talking about interest. I'm talking about name, age. What are they interested in? What are they drinking? What are they reading? What other websites are they following? What other shows are they following? What other creators? I'm talking about specific interests, psychographics, goals, ambitions. What are they striving for? Right? It's that point A to point Z. You're like in the middle. You're helping them build that bridge. Okay. So think about that. And the next piece of content you put out, make that next episode for them, for that one person. So if your listener is I'm talking, it was just an example. Sarah, she's 35. She's a creative entrepreneur. She's struggling to grow her show. Um, I'm speaking directly to Sarah every time I hit record. Okay. Every time. Hence the topic, right? Attracting the right audience, hence the topic. But I know specifically where they're at in their journey. And I'm creating this content in hopes that I can help Sarah out. At least get clarity or challenge or say something in this episode that may challenge her to think differently about building an audience and building a community, right? Just to do a recap, once again, your growth doesn't come from chasing everyone, right? It comes from serving someone deeply. All right. So let me repeat that again. Your growth doesn't come from chasing everyone. It comes from serving that one person deeply, depth over everything. Okay. If you need help defining your audience, hey, I'm here to help out. I have a link for a 14-day intensive coaching program where I can help you define your audience. This program is specifically for any creator who's building a brand or business. Okay. See what I did there? And this is for somebody who really needs help. And what we do is we pick one problem and we have one solution. That's it. Really simple. It's 14 days and it'll change the game for you. So if you're interested, make sure you click on that link. And there's also a freebie, a free giveaway for you to check out some marketing tips for podcasters. So definitely go check that out. In the next week, I'm going to be talking about monetization. Okay, some myths and how to start actually generating some revenue through your podcast. So that's next week's episode. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you follow the podcast. Huge favor. Follow the podcast on Apple, on Spotify. On Spotify, you can leave a rating and review. You can also do that on Apple. So leave a rating and review. Tag me at The Real Ozeal. We'll love to share it out. I would greatly appreciate it. Again, your follows, your ratings and reviews, it does help the show. So please, that's my only favorite ask of you. I challenge you, in addition to everything else, I challenge you to do that. Now, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for just tuning in. Keep creating, keep showing up, and remember your message matters. Creator Factor, fam. I love y'all. Keep doing the great work. See you next time. Peace and one love.